Yo 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 yo. All right, guys. Today we're going to talk about equations with the variable on both sides. So you need to know how to solve one and two-step equations. If you know how to do those, this shouldn't be too difficult. So let's make sure we watch those videos before we move on and watch this. But let's just get going right away. So for this first, so what's happening now is we have an equation, but we have a variable on both sides of the equal sign. Okay, so when we solve equations, our goal is to get the variable by itself, to isolate the variable. Well, I don't know which variable I want to get by itself because I have two of them, and they're on different sides of the equal sign. So what we need to do is we need to combine these terms first before we start solving our equation. The problem is because they are on different sides of the equal sign, I can't just say x and 3x makes 4x, because then which side would it go on? We don't know because we didn't move anything over from one side to the other. So what I have to do here is I have to use my inverse operation. So just like when we would add 1 to both sides to make it move, like if I wanted to get rid of this -1, I would add 1, and that makes that go away. And whatever I do on one side, I have to do on the other. So really what I'm doing is I'm transferring this 1 over here. That's what we're going to do with our variables. So if I want to move this x right here to the right side, I'm going to subtract x. Because x minus x is 0. That makes that go away. That's our goal. We don't want it to be on this left side anymore. But whatever I do on one side, I have to do on the other side. So I got to subtract x from both sides. Well, 3x minus x, that's 2x. That's saying I have 3 x's and I subtract an x, that means I have 2 x's left. I can't do anything with x and -1 because they're not like terms. I can only subtract x's from x's. So, bring down my -1. I haven't done anything with +5. I'm going to bring that down, and I bring down my equal sign. So what I did is I transported 1x to the other side. Now I could have chosen to subtract 3x from both sides, and that would have given me -2x plus 5 equals -1, and that would have worked as well. The only thing with that is it left me with a negative coefficient, a -2, and I like to keep it positive. So therefore I just looked at it and chose, I always choose to move over the smallest of the two values because that makes it positive. Now I have a two-step equation. So now we solve the exact same way we've been solving equations. I get rid of my constant first by adding 1. Those go away. I'm left with 2x equals 6. Divide both sides by 2, and I get x equals 3. And I'm done. Now what I could do is I could take that x equals 3 and I could plug it in for x in both of these equations to see if it works. I can check my work, and that way I'm guaranteed to know I got it right every single time. So if I replace this x with a 3, that's 3 plus 5, because I replaced the x with a 3, equals 3 times, well, whatever x is 3 minus 1. So if I did this right, the left side should equal the right side. Well, 3 plus 5 is 8. 3 times 3 is 9. And then 9 minus 1 is 8. So the left side equals the right side. I did it right. X does equal 3. So let's look at another one over here. Let's look at this one. So again, I have the variable on both sides of the equal sign. So because of that, I want to move over either this term to the right side or this term to the left side by doing the opposite. Well, if I move this one over to the right, this is the larger of the two numbers, so it's going to make this negative. And we don't like negatives. Plus, there's going to be nothing left over here. And that's okay. If I did that, it would be a 0. So I put the number 0 here, and that's okay. And then I'd have to move over the 48. So instead of doing that, I'm going to subtract 22x on both sides. 22 minus 22 is 0. It cancels each other out. It goes away. I'm going to bring down my 48. Bring down my equal sign. Bring down my 8x. So I got 8x equals 48. So, because 30x's minus 22x's is 8x's left over. Now I got a one-step equation. Just divide both sides by 8. There's no constant to get rid of. And I was left with x equals 6. I'm all done. There's nothing else for me to work on. Okay, let's go down and work on these bottom two. Actually, what I want you to do, I would like for you to work on this one right here. Try this one on your own. So pause the video, see how you do. Okay, so now I have an equal sign. I have an x on the left and the right side. So I need to move the variable over to the same side of the equal sign. I always like to move over the smallest one. A negative value is always smaller than a positive value, so I'm going to move over this negative x. And the way I do that is I do the opposite, which is positive x, because that makes that go away. Whoops. Okay, so I added x. That makes that go away. So now I'm going to add x to the left side as well, because whatever I do on one side of the equal sign, I have to do on the other. That cancel, but 1x, x plus x, that gives me 2x's total. I have to bring everything else down. I haven't done anything with the -4. This is why showing our work is so important, because we show what we cancel, we show what we haven't done anything with, and we got to bring it down and rewrite it. So now I have a two-step equation. I have 2x plus 4 equals -4. So I got to get rid of my constant by subtracting 4 on both sides. That goes away. I have 2x equals -8, because -4 and -4 makes -8. And then I got to divide both sides by 2 to get x equals -4. And then please try this last one on your own, especially if you didn't try the last one, but no matter what, I want you to pause, try this one on your own, and let's see how you do. Okay, so first I got to decide which one I want to move. Again, it doesn't matter, okay? You get the choice, but I always like to move the smallest number. So -3 is smaller than -1, so I'm going to add 3x to both sides. When I add 3x to both sides, -3 plus 3 is 0. I got to bring down my 2, bring down this -8, and then I have to do -x plus 3. Well, -x plus 3, that's like -1 plus 3, which is +2. So that gives me 2x. So I have 2x minus 8 equals 2. Well, I got to add 8 to both sides, because now I'm trying to get x by itself. That gives me 10 equals 2x. These cancel each other out. Divide by 2 and I get 5 equals x, or x equals 5. And I'm done. Now you also might have some word problems. So with these word problems, you have to write the equation first and then you would solve. So for this first one, Andy's rental car charges an initial fee of $20 plus, so for Andy, we have an initial fee of $20 plus $30 per day. So that's $30 per day. That word per means multiplication. This is $30 times however many days they rent that car for. Okay, well, Buddy, they charge an initial fee of $36 plus $28 per day. So that's 28x. So I have Andy and I have Buddy. This is how much they charge. Well, I want to figure out for what number of days is the total cost the same. So when it's the same, we're saying for what number of days are these equal to each other. So there's my equation. I'm looking at seeing when is Andy's cost the exact same as Buddy's cost. Now I get to solve my equation. Pause this video. Again, try solving this on your own. So I'm going to subtract the smallest number. So I'm going to subtract 28x from both sides. That gives me 2x. I got to bring down this 20. That gives me 36 because these just cancel out. I have a two-step equation. Get rid of my constant first by subtracting 20 on both sides. Those go away. I'm left with 2x equals 16. So I got to divide both sides by 2. And I get x equals 8. So after 8 days, if I rented a car from 8 days from either company, they're the exact same cost. Okay, last problem. What I want you guys to do is I want you guys to write the equation. Pause this, try to write the equation on your own, see how you do. And then if you get the equation, check your equation and then solve it. So pause and see if you can write the equation of this word problem first. So a water tank holds 256, that's where it starts at. And then it's leaking, so that means it's losing water at 3 gallons per week. So it starts with 256 and it loses 3 per week. This tank starts at 384 and then it loses 5 per week. We want to know when these are equal to each other. When will they have the same amount of water? So there's my equation. Now I just have to solve it. So I'm going to move over the 5w because that's a -5. -5 is smaller than -3. And again, it does not matter which one you move over. I just like to keep things positive, but it doesn't make a difference. Those cancel. That's 5w. I'm sorry, that's 2w, because negative 3 plus 5 is positive 2. And then we bring everything else down. Now I'm back to a two-step equation. I get to subtract 256 from both sides. That cancels. 2w equals, let's see, this is 128. Divide both sides by 2, I get 64. So at 64 weeks, both tanks will hold the exact same amount of water. Okay, things to remember. First step, is to get variables on the same side. Okay, always move the variable first, and then we start worry about solving the rest after that. Okay guys, that's all I got for you today. Thank you for tuning in and watching. I hope this helped. Let's take some practice, so get your independent practice done, and we'll get a lot of practice in class. Thanks for watching. Curtius out.